Right then, evening all.
Good evening, good evening.
Lovely to see so many in the comments already. It's always lovely to see you all chat together. So let's. Well, you're already looking at me strangely.
Never done nothing.
So
nothing. I was going to say, welcome to our regular Thursday night live. That's not on a Monday this week. It's on a Tuesday.
yes, we're mixing up a bit at the moment, not intentionally. This week we'll do it on Tuesday because Paul's away racing from Thursday onwards, his first big race meeting. So we decided obviously to do it on Tuesday. Last week, obviously, it was because we were away on Aurora. So
that's not actually true at all. Kengo's Cruiser has contacted us and he said that he's doing a live Thursday night. And if we don't move our time, he's going to drive to Gloucester and duff me up.
He's not even in the...
That's what's happened.
No, Ken and Lindsay are on Aurora at the moment with Bob and Holly.
So we had no choice.
So he asked us, could he have our Thursday slot? You know, no, it's slot. It doesn't matter when you do your lives, does it? You know, it is what it is. But regularly we do it on a Thursday.
We've copyrighted
Thursday. I don't think so. So, but that was very polite of you to ask, Ken. And of course you can, because we're doing it Tuesday. But anyway, back to this live, and hi to everyone that's in the comments and saying hello. And for those that are new to our channel, we're Paul and Carole Love to Travel, and we cruise a lot.
We do.
So we're here to talk about, well, anything you ask us, and we'll go through the questions in a moment. We've recently obviously been back from Queen Anne on the maiden cruise, which we're just doing the vlog series now. First vlog was out on Friday, and that's just hit over 10,000 views. So thank you to everyone that's watched that. But if you haven't, go and check that out after this live.
If you haven't watched it, then we're not going to thank you.
No,
if you haven't watched it.
But we've had some really, really lovely comments about it. So thank you for everyone that's taken the time, not just to watch it, but to give us a thumbs up and to comment, because that really, really means a lot.
Because if you if you haven't watched it, you don't know. We might have been talking about you. Ain't gonna know, are you, unless you watched it.
Anyway, and then we've been back from Aurora. We got 4 days on Aurora with lots of our blogging friends. I can see Emma's in the house, so lovely to see you, Emma. We spent 4 days with Emma and her lovely mum, Gaynor.
Well, I spent 3 days with her.
How long were we on for?
3.
3. Why do I keep saying 4 nights? It was only 3 nights. I wish it had been 4. In fact, I wish it had been a week, because it was just far too short, wasn't it? But let's have a look to see who's here, and let's start at the top. I know Sherry was going to pop in, so she can't stay. So lovely to see you here, Sherry. And Warren saying he can't wait to board Grandeur for the first time. Oh, exciting. And Nick and Tracy in here. So thanks for turning up and asking. If you've got a question, please start it with question or right then, which is really, really important. Sean's here. So lovely to see Sean. He's been really busy lately and just back from Gibraltar. Gibraltar's fun, isn't it? We've only been there once. We definitely need to go back, don't we?
Well, we haven't gone back to Ken and Lindsay. We haven't been as much as them, because they know every pub in Gibraltar and which order to go to them in.
Exactly.
And what food they serve.
Exactly. So Corinne's here and Barbara's here. So lovely to see all you lovely people here. So Rose is here as well. She's just back from Voyager. Yes, I knew you'd have a great time on Royal Voyager. Such a fun ship, isn't it? And only 3 weeks to go to Spirit Adventure, which for those of you who don't know is a saga ship, which is also another beautiful, beautiful ship. Kevin's here from New York. Yo, PNC peeps.
Peace.
And Bob's here. So Bob's just saying, tune in and see if Paul and Carole have any more aft jokes. Ooh. We just put a short out of Aurora's aft.
I tried to put those behind me. Yeah, if you wouldn't have interrupted the first bit of it, it'd have been better, wouldn't it?
Would it?
Yeah.
Possibly.
I'll try it again. No.
So stay tuned, Bob. You never know.
You never know. But...
And David Webb saying he's hello, one and all, just having put in warm pecan slice and vanilla ice cream. Oh, yes, it's Kelly's. Do we know Kelly's ice cream?
Yes.
Do we?
Yes. They do clotted cream as well. And
Andy and Carole just popping in because I know they've got a lovely meal out. So Kevin B's asking the first question. Paul looks so good. Ooh. For the colonists in the room, could you let us know the differences between a British cruise and an American cruise?
Well, on a British cruise, we don't throw anybody's tea into the harbour. That's the first thing. I don't know the grudge. It's only 1776 that happened. I know it's more, I would say, something like the most traditional cruise line that's a British cruise line would be something like Cunard. regardless of where it goes in the world, you'll always have like the ballroom dancing. You'll always have the afternoon tea in the Queen's room. You'll always have fish and chips in the pub, which is more. I know we were having this discussion earlier. I know Royal Caribbean always have pubs on their ships, but they don't feel like pubs.
P&O is a British cruise line
yeah,
too, because
P&O
they do.
too, yeah. But I think Cunard is definitely the most British of the British ones.
Yeah.
So it's more.
It's having those home comforts of being a British person, which for us, a cup of tea.
A cup of breakfast tea. In the
we love a
buffet.
kettle in a cabin. So that's a British sort of cruise.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry,
yeah. Like you say, a pub where you can get your fish and chips. And like you say, more sort of afternoon tea type things, but you can get that on most cruises, but it doesn't often feel British. Whereas if we think we're going to go on an American cruise, we always think it's going to be an American cruise, going to be quite loud and exciting and lots of fun. And maybe because us British, we're a little bit more reserved than Americans, and they sort of can whoop and holler and be a little bit more extrovert than us British people and feel comfortable doing it, which I think is brilliant. Then I think that to me is the differences too. Would you agree?
So if you're taking part in a cruise and you think this cruise is full of boring old farts,
you're on a British cruise. No, but we love it, don't we? So Jim and Dwayne here. So hi P&C and the gang. Let's have a look. Morris is here. So Morris is asking, hi everyone, so glad you enjoyed Aurora. It's my favourite P&O ship. Question, favourite bar on board? Oh, it's got a fabulous crow's nest.
The crow's nest is fabulous. And I have to say, Anderson's is probably one of the prettiest bars I've ever been in on a cruise ship. It's just, if going back to, it's almost like segueing it on from Kevin's. If you want to go to the most British of British bars that doesn't involve fish and chips and afternoon tea and all that, but just a proper, when you walk in, you walk into it, and bearing in mind it's P&O's oldest ship now, currently in the fleet, you walk into Anderson's and it feels like you're having a cocktail, and you can have a cider in there as well, because I did, because I'm a Philistine, but it feels like you're having a drink in an old British stately home.
Yeah, it does.
It's all wood and leather.
Beautiful.
And bookcases.
Big fireplace.
I've done a little short, which I haven't put out yet, but that's going to be, keep your eye out for that. And it is fabulous. It's going to take about 45 seconds of your time. Just watch it and you'll say, yeah, I can see what Paul's on about.
I think we're going more about bars and more about how we felt like going on Aurora was like walking into the TARDIS, because it's a small ship. But when you're inside, you're like, oh my, there's just so many venues and so many good venues. So let's see what other questions were. Jim and Dwayne are saying, was it strange going from a brand new to relatively old ship? It was strange, and we loved Queen Anne because she was so clean and new and sparkly. But for us, I guess because we're nearly 60 now, going on to an old traditional ship like Aurora was like putting on something really comfortable. Straight away, we both looked at each other and thought, oh my gosh, this is just it just felt lovely and homely and just really, really nice. And wow, what an aft, isn't it?
And we like the ship as well. What I can't believe is this has occurred at least 5 or 6 times over the last month, where Carole keeps saying we're nearly 60. And I'm amazed. Yeah, but you keep saying
I'm not really.
But you're not even 58 yet.
No, that's true.
And you keep saying we're nearly 60. I'll tell you something. She's coming to terms with being 60 a lot better than I am.
So yes, it was strange, but both have their merits, and that's what's the best thing about cruising is there's a cruise ship out there for everyone. So if you like modern, you want a bit of Cunard, sort of going back to that bygone era, but with a modern twist, then Queen Anne's the ship for you. If you want a proper old traditional small ship experience that you've got the proper wood teak decks and a proper promenade, then Aurora is a fabulous choice. And I would go on Aurora tomorrow. In fact, we've been looking for next year. Sadly, the dates don't fit, do they? I've seen a lovely Northern Lights itinerary, but it just doesn't fit with what we're doing.
Well, I've got a little tangent segue, call it whatever you will. The irony of what you've said about new ship to old ship. On Queen Anne, you can never find the toilets because the signs are so bad, and when you do, you go in the wrong one, but they're always working.
Yeah.
On Aurora, you can find the toilets all the time, but they're never working.
No. Yeah. An old ship,
You
isn't
need
it?
to
Though?
get-
They do have issues with toilets.
You need to give yourself an extra 15 minutes.
do.
You need to think to yourself, do I need a wee? Do
Yeah.
I need a wee yet?
You don't leave it to like, I
can-
need a wee.
Yeah, I can probably leave it another 10 minutes.
No.
When you think that, that's the time to go.
Yeah.
Because the one you think is just outside, you'll go there. They'll either have the bar across, which I initially thought was like a limbo competition. You had to go, if you could go under it, you could have a wee, but apparently it means they're cleaning. But I have to say, for as much as I love that ship, there was always a little whiff in the air.
Not throughout the ship.
Not throughout the ship, but certain areas there was a little whiff in the air. And if you went in a toilet and everything was working,
yeah, well, that's
you got £1 million.
Yeah.
Because it never happened. There was always at least one cubicle or one standy uppy out of order. I don't think I went in one that the blower was working. Oh, I'm trying,
standy uppy.
The urinal.
Urinal.
No, urinal. How do you know you haven't got a urinal in yours, have you?
No.
Or is that what is it all ultra modern now?
No.
I bet there is.
But that's a good point.
I bet there is on Virgin. I bet they got standy up toilets in the ladies.
So you use your sheepy or shiwi or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point about the toilets, because it is troublesome on Aurora. It even says our toilets have a very delicate system. Please,
Yeah.
But yeah. So there was a few areas that you thought, oh, that's a bit sort of pongy, but it wasn't in bars and the venues.
No.
It was more sort of on the outside area, wasn't it? Anyway, we're digressing. So Dawn's asking, so we decided to go off to Alaska. We want to fly into Calgary and then go through the Rockies to Vancouver and pick up a cruise. Any hints and tips welcome. Well, hopefully you've already seen our Rocky Mountaineer video and our land tour, which we did with Titan when we visited Banff and Jasper, because that's got a lot of information in there. But if you do fly into Calgary, make sure you do get to Banff and that area, because it is absolutely stunning, isn't it?
Lovely.
And if you are going to visit Lake Louise, and if you are going to explore and you're not on a coach trip, make sure you go there either early or late, so you avoid the crowds.
Avoid the traffic.
Yeah, because
if you're going on a tour, it's great to do. We saw loads on our tour that we wouldn't have seen.
Yeah.
But places like Lake Louise, you get there, and unfortunately 9 million other people are also there at the same time.
Yeah, so if you've got your own transport, then I would definitely go there and get there sort of not at peak times. And I'd love to go back out there and explore by car or even camper van.
But check out our Canada vlogs.
Yeah.
And that's all the tips and hints you'll ever need.
Yeah. And it's absolutely amazing.
But just avoid if there's a strange bloke waiting for you at the airport. And his name,
yes.
And his name.
I don't think Kevin's in the chat tonight.
Well,
he's sometimes busy on a Tuesday, isn't he? No, and Sean's just saying, I hope Kevin's in the chat tonight. He's from that area. Yeah. Kevin surprised us at the airport in Calgary, which was amazing. And when we spent 2 nights with him in Banff, and we had some fantastic time, didn't we?
We did.
So let's have a look. Everyone's saying have good cruises, everyone. Paula's here. So hey, Paula. Hey, you two, can't wait to hear all about your trip. So lovely to see you here. Lizzie Lou's in the house. We just spent 3 days with Lizzie Lou as well, which is lovely. Tina's asking, hi Tina. Somebody told me Aurora was originally going to be a Cunard ship. I don't know if this is correct, but if it was Aurora, but if it is, was an Aurora an elegant ship?
Aurora's a very elegant ship, and that I can't substantiate that rumor in any shape or form. But before we got on there, lots of people said, if you like Cunard, you're going to love Aurora because it's very Cunardian-like. And certainly when you go to the Crow's Nest, especially, and Anderson's, it's got a very, very Cunardy feel to it.
And the atrium area, which is beautiful.
Yeah, and the atrium as well,
Beautiful. And the outside decks, because they're like teak, aren't they? And it has got a lot of Cunard-like, but it's beautiful, beautiful little ship.
I'll look into it now for a time.
But I'm sure Morris is here, and there's a few other people that know P&O better than us. Joe's here. So obviously, Joe, you know, for hearing more about Aurora, would love to sail on her. Yeah, we would love to sail on her again. And Corinne's just saying that though my son lives in Calgary, so I visit often. It's further than it looks on the map to Vancouver. However, it's wonderful. Just allow plenty of time. Yeah. Canada is vast, isn't it? I knew it was big, but until we went there, I didn't realize how big it was.
I did.
Mandy's here. Mandy came and say hi, didn't she, in the Crow's Nest on P&O Aurora? So lovely to see you, Mandy.
She messed my hair up. I spent 6 hours doing it.
She did.
I mean, messed my hair up.
So Morris is just saying, we recently got back from a med cruise on Azora. Had a great time. I have a new favourite Italian city, Florence. Question, your best Italian city?
Well, isn't that ironic? Because we went to Florence and it was so busy when we were there that it didn't light our fire because it was so busy. I can understand there was a lot of building work going on while we were there, and there was also 9 cajillion bazillion people.
And we nearly lost the group, didn't we? And I got in a panic.
Carole got lost.
Yeah.
She got lost, and she got lost. I got lost with her, but obviously it's her fault. We were both lost. But it was Carole's fault.
But luckily we spotted them right in the distance.
Right in the distance. But yeah, it was
Florence looked beautiful, but we just felt it was our tour was very rushed, wasn't it? And we didn't, so we would love to go back. Rome, we went to Rome for 2 nights, very brief, with Imagine Cruise, was it? With Karen. Many years ago, and the 2 nights we had in Rome was a whistle-stop tour, but we walked around and thinking, oh my gosh, because it's quite easy to navigate, isn't it, Rome? It's not as big as you think. So that immediately was like, oh my, that's somewhere we'd like to go again. Any other Italian cities? No, we've got quite an exciting cruise coming up in July that's doing a lot of the Amalfi Coast. So we don't want to give too many details at egg, so it's just putting everything together. But that is going to be pretty awesome because we've touched on that when we went to that's Italy.
What? Are we going there, are we?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We went to is it Santa Margherita?
We went to Santa Margherita, which we then got the train to the place.
Terry.
Terry.
Cinque Terre.
I'm
sure that's how it's pronounced.
Cinque Terre.
That's it. Oh, honey. So looking forward to visiting those areas, but nice to see it here. You had a lovely time, Morris.
Yes.
So let's have a look. So many people here. So lots of people saying hello. Tony's in the house, and Lynn. So and Jill's made to our live again. And Fraser. We met Fraser for the first time on Aurora. And what a top bloke he is.
7'9".
He is.
And 3/4.
Yes, but he's lovely. We had lots of lovely chats. So that's nice. Gillian says it's dreary in Kincardine, Ontario. So Canada, that is Pauline.
Yeah, I can see that flag, yeah.
I think you were thinking of that was Scotland, Kincardine, were you? Like Kirkcaldy. Anyway, nice to have you here, Gillian.
Don't you love it when she's trying to be detrimental and say a Scottish town and she gets it completely wrong? Do you mean Kilcoddy?
Kilcody, that's where Marie's family from.
Kilcody, that's
Kilcody.
You're going into them tablets.
Anyway,
Kilcodamore.
David said his pudding was lush. It's a crime to wash it down with a TG. He's got Thatcher's Gold, Paulie.
Ooh, I haven't.
No, we drank far too much on our 3-night cruise, so we're not well. Paul will be drinking again the weekend, but I'm having a week off. Claire's here, so lovely to see Claire.
Claire, it's Kilcody.
Well, anyway. Corinne said she went on the Spirit Discovery when she was new. They're beautiful ships. Saga ships are absolutely beautiful. Let's have a look. So many, Fraser, so many familiar names and faces in the chat. There are. It's lovely. We love our lives. And Mandy said she loved it too. We loved Aurora. What did you think? And would you sail on her again? Definitely. Yeah. Like I say, she's like a TARDIS. You walk in and you think, oh, there's just so many different venues from. They got Champions, which is a decent sort of pub, which has got sport on. They've got the Masquerade, which is like where they do a lot of the quizzes and game shows, and then that's where the late night disco is. They've got Anderson's, as Paul's mentioned. They've got a beautiful crow's nest. They've got a fabulous pennant bar at the back in the sunshine.
What they've done as well with the sports bar, they've sort of bucked the trend a bit, is they've got a sports bar that actually shows sport. Now, we went to the sports bar on MSC Virtuosa, and they didn't even have a TV in there.
Yeah, that was
in the sports bar. So I said, "What sport are you showing here, mate? You haven't got any TVs?" "Oh no, we don't show any sport in here." "So why is it a sports bar then? Is there like dartboards or something, or a pool table?" "No, none of that." "So why is it a sports bar then?" "I don't know." I think that pretty much sums up MSC for you, really.
Nick's just reminded everyone we've got a shop. Yeah, if you want to buy any of our merchandise, then please head over there. So thank you for that, Nick. Tom and Dom are here as well. So hi, guys.
Hello, hello.
And Sue's here from West Yorkshire.
And I'm going to remind everybody, because I was somebody in the chat reminds, don't forget, we love a little thumbs up because it cheers us up a little
See
bit.
if we can get
we used to do thumbs up. We used to get fireworks and all sorts of stuff, and devils and arts and like binoculars. Nothing works anymore. So if you want a thumbs up, if you could do it, that'd be great.
Grace is here as well. Hello, and Mark from California. So thank you all for joining us.
Oh, yeah, Grace.
Fraser's got a question. Who was your favourite Scottish person that you met on Aurora cruise?
I'll tell you who it was. It was that. It was the lad. His name was Kieran, and he was in the entertainment team. He did one of the shows. He was a lovely lad.
Obviously,
funny Scottish accent, but other than that, he was a lovely lad, and his mum was nice as well.
Exactly.
I can't think of anybody else. Anybody Scottish people?
I like Fraser. So Cruise and Gaze is here. So hi, guys. And Nick saying, "Duff me up." Not heard that since I was school in the 80s. Oh dear. Elaine's here. Gosh, so many people. So apologies if I miss you. But there's just so many people here. And Travis Lizu is again saying, don't forget to like. So let's go to the next question. Journeys with Jill. So nice to see you here. Hello from Jill and Simon. What was the food like on P&O? Lots of report. It isn't up to much.
Well, there you go. Look, all the reports are true. It was terrible.
No,
it wasn't. I have to say, they do on a couple of occasions we got out for breakfast. If it's proper to me, it's proper old school.
This is another British thing.
It's proper old school. You go and get a breakfast. They got proper sausages. They got fried bread. They got tinned tomatoes.
Yes,
they got all these
tomatoes.
things.
I was excited to see them.
That make it so British. So the breakfast was excellent from my point of view. You enjoyed your breakfast too. They did a curry night in the buffet, which was fabulous, and we did do the sort of gala night, didn't we? And I thought the gala night,
we did it one in the MDR.
Yeah, in the MDR,
and the food was. We thought the food was excellent, and the service was superb.
Yeah, service was great. Food was great. Couldn't fault it.
The service throughout the ship was good, wasn't it? We didn't have to wait for anything, and it was interesting. We were talking to Bob and Holly because we were with the Innocents Abroad, and Holly made a really good observation, didn't she? She said that the service is really good. She says it's slick, it's efficient, but it doesn't come with that personability. Like cruise lines, you go and like, hello, I'm Jim. What's your name? And I'll look after you. You walk into a bar and they come up, say, hey, we know what you want. It was very slick, and I think that's just a P&O thing. We found that on Iona, didn't we?
The only thing I find is I've started doing something now, and anybody who cruises me would know that when I ask for a Thatcher's Gold, just to break the ice, yes, a pun intended, they say, do you want ice with your Thatcher's Gold? And I say, yes, please, I want 5 pieces of ice. And the first time you say that, they look at you like you're, I want to say a knob, so I'm going to say that. They look at you like you're a knob on a door handle. I mean, obviously, that sort of knob that you open the door with. But within a day, when you've gone around different areas on the ship, within a day, and you go into the bar and you say, oh, a Thatcher's Gold, please. And they say, 5 pieces of ice. Yeah. So at least it is an icebreaker. And at least then they've served you before. Because the trouble is like you said, that Holly said, and we agree, it was definitely more friendly than on Iona. Because Iona was very service with a frown. It was all efficient. This was happy service. This was happy service. But if you tied me to a chair and hit me with a wet lettuce, I couldn't name one single member of staff that I encountered in the 3 days on Aurora. And can you?
No, I agree. I can see faces, but yeah.
But no names.
Because there was no sort of introduction. But
we've come off cruises and it's like, oh, well, so-and-so was brilliant. Yeah. So-and-so was brilliant.
But the service was good.
Yeah.
I agree with Paul. The food was good.
Yeah.
We didn't try any of the specialty, but we had friends that went to Sindhu and said it was excellent. And people went to the beach house and really enjoyed that too, didn't they? So Renata saying, hey, Paul and Carole, I enjoyed your Queen Anne vid. Thank you for watching. Yeah, it's had a really good response. So thank you so much. So Stuart, yes, he said, Stuart and Sherry currently on a break in Pendine, West Wales. We do love Tenby.
Well, I've raced on many, many occasions on the top of where the mountain the hill, the mountain, whatever you want to call it, that looks down on Pendine Sands, where all the windmills are. I've raced there. I should have as in
energy windmills, not windmills like in Holland.
No, and there's not.
People would be going to Tenby and St. Paul said there was windmills.
And I haven't seen any tulips, and I haven't seen Windy Miller.
Oh my god!
So yeah, I've raced there many times, and there should have been a meeting there last weekend, but it was cancelled due to the bad weather.
Bad weather. So let's see what the next question is. So we've got Nick and Tracy are asking, what's the deciding factor for the type of cabin you book when you are booking your cruise? For me, it's itinerary, because with Aurora, we originally were going to just book an inside cabin, but then I decided on a window because I thought I don't need a balcony for a 3-day cruise, and it was going in the English Channel and over to Zeebrugge. So I didn't think it was going to be sitting on the balcony with a cup of tea type sort of weather. So, and it depends on if we're traveling with friends and family. We tend to, if we're spending more time in the cabin and we're traveling on our own, then we will book a higher grade of cabin. I think that's the way we do. But it is itinerary based. If there's an itinerary thing and it's going to potentially be hot, then I do like my own sort of personal outside space. Paul doesn't care where he goes. My
deciding factor is, Carole says, I want a balcony or I want an ocean view, and I say, yes, dear.
Yes.
I say, yes, my lady.
Yes, my lady. That's very British.
That was Parker, wasn't it?
No, that's true. That was yeah.
Thunderbirds.
I was thinking of Downton Abbey then.
Have you ever watched Downton Abbey?
No, I haven't.
So how would you know? So how would you know what the bloke at
you can
Downton
imagine,
Abbey?
can you? You can imagine.
Yes, my lady.
Alison's made it, so lovely to see you here, Alison. So thank you so much. So let's have a look at any more questions we've got, because I'm aware that times are ticking, and I'm still just.
Well, in all fairness, you're only 20 minutes behind at the minute. That's like quite impressive.
Debbie's asking a question. So Debbie's asking, would you choose Aurora, Sky Princess, or Queen Anne for a Norway cruise?
Well, we have to really say Sky Princess, because that's where our group cruise is going. And, well, it's sort of...
Well, it's not, it's Baltic.
Well, yeah,
it's going to Norway, it's more capitals.
I got to be honest, any of those ships, we've done Norway on Sky Princess, and it's a great ship to do it on. I would definitely do it on Aurora, because that's got loads of outside space, and it's a fab little ship, so it might get to the littler places. And Queen Anne still got some
it's got some fabulous outside space. The only thing that is lacking is the promenade on Queen Anne, but it's got some fantastic 2 areas. One at the front called by the Sky Bar, and one at the back which is called the
it's the Sky Bar
Cabana. Yeah, so it's got lots of outside space. You want a ship that's got lots of outside space for Norway. Depending on the cabin, obviously, if you've got a balcony, it's not so bad. But you want a ship where you can get right around the top to look at whatever you want to look at.
But obviously, at this moment in time, I imagine Queen Anne, I'd imagine, to be probably double the price of Aurora.
Well, no, Aurora isn't cheap often.
Oh, okay.
Aurora just maintains price because it's so popular, because it's such a popular little ship. So... Grant saying, from your video on QA, everything looked dark. Is the is the lighting really that dark? No, and I didn't think when I looked. I seen your comment, Grant, and when we were talking about when we were on Gary's live, and I thought, and I think some of the areas are a little bit dark inside, but we felt actually that it was actually light and bright. So I think it's just in some the areas that we're in. There are some that are a little bit darker, but as an overall, we felt it was quite airy and light. So stay tuned for the rest of the episodes, because we're just finishing editing. We're just doing some voiceovers before we came live, and we're giving a good tour around the ship, and it does feel very, very light and bright. Susan's asking, is it worth getting Cunard share to qualify for more OBC?
How often do you cruise?
Yeah.
If you cruise often, if you cruise once every 2 years, once every 3 years, then it's always worth it. But the more you cruise, the more it's worth it, because those shares never go away. It's not like you use up shares getting your onboard credit. So every time you go away, I mean, we've just got, I think it was 40 or 50 quid, even though it was only a 3-dayer on the Aurora. But we also got $100, or was it $150 on Queen Anne? So over the space
We've already
of 2,
got our money
yeah.
back.
So we've already had more than had our money back, and we still, because we bought at the right time as well, our shares are probably double what we paid for them. I mean, obviously we didn't pay £1 million for them, so let's not get too excited.
No.
But we paid about £700 for 700 shares. I think they're on about 12 or 1300 quid at the moment. But obviously every cruise that goes by, you get a little bit extra. And then they've brought the app in as well. There's now an app where you get your onboard credits, which I've used for the first time for these 2 cruises, and it was very easy. And so hopefully that'll continue. So yeah, it's not for an investment, no, but it's one of them ones where if you're going to buy them, you want to buy them now because they're fairly low, or they were fairly low. Because I know people who've bought at 25 penny share. I got them at 7 penny share. I think they're, like you said, 12 or 30 penny share the last time I looked.
Bridges asking just about the P&O drinks package. Still keeping most drinks above the limit. I don't think it's so much that. I don't think there was a huge choice on the package, was it? No. And we found that the P&O prices are like British pub prices, so they're not expensive like Cunard. We didn't feel that the prices were really expensive unless you chose specific drinks. Actually, the wine, wasn't it? I was looking at the wine list, and they have I love obviously New Zealand Marlborough wine, and my wine of choice is Villa Maria. However, I looked in Anderson's at that, and it was about 15, 16 pounds, wasn't it, for a large glass of Villa Maria, where you could get Waka Papa. Is that how you say it? Waka Papa?
Waka Papa, which is also a Marlborough New Zealand.
And you could get that for £7.50,
yeah,
or even £6.50.
Yeah, it was for some reason the Villa Maria. And bearing in mind, we've just bought a bottle. We just bought some bottles of Villa Maria from Morrison's because they had a deal on. It was £9 a bottle. If you buy 6 bottles, you get 25% off.
Yeah.
So we were getting those for about £7 a bottle, and P&O wanted about £17 a glass.
Yeah, it was mad.
So.
Just thinking, have you updated the P&O drinks package? I know you were working on it. You've done the Cunard one, haven't you?
No, I've been doing Cunard.
Yeah, Cunard stuff. So we all will be up to
yeah, we do.
When Paul gets back from racing, he'll be up data the P&O one on our website.
I might take all the computers with me, and I might do them while I'm away.
I don't think so. Sherry's just saying on American cruise you don't have a kettle. Most of our pubs are full English breakfast, but with baked beans, yes. Or the baked beans just aren't baked beans. They're not like we know them, are they? They're like big beans. But Dawn says she's just been on Sky Princess the Fjords, and it was fantastic. There's a couple of our patrons, and they're all showing everything in our Discord group at the moment. And they're on it's a 5-night cruise, isn't it, to Oslo and around the Baltic, which is a similar itinerary that we're doing our group cruise next year, and we're loving. They had a lovely sail into Oslo today, so looking forward to that. But Sky Princess is a fantastic ship, and that's why we chose it for our group cruise next year.
Now, if you wanted proof, don't click on anything yet.
Okay.
If you wanted proof that some Americans still bear a grudge, click on that comment.
Kevin G, the Boston Tea Party was on December 16th, 1773.
The only thing I'm disappointed about, Kevin, is you didn't actually put what time. 10 to 3.
So Mandy's just asking, we're off cruising again this Saturday. Oh my gosh, Mandy, that's worse than us. On the Iona to Fjords. Any tips what to do in ports? Stavanger, Olden, Helsinki, and Haugesund. Well, Stavanger is very easy to walk around your own. They've got a hop-on, hop-off bus, which we did, which isn't the most exciting trip, so I wouldn't do that again. But what I would do that we did in Stavanger was we did a rib ride out to the nearest fjord, didn't we? Which was absolutely fantastic.
Now, is that the one? Because we've done we
did book it as an excursion on Queen Mary, that one in Stavanger, but you can book them independently if you can get in early.
Well, the one that we did in Stavanger, which is the one we did on our own.
No.
You're misconstrued then. The one we did on our own, me and you, but on an excursion.
Okay, yes. And the other one was with Jane.
And the other one was with Jane, which we booked ourselves. So the one we did on our own,
which is Stavanger,
through the cruise line.
Yeah,
that was better than the other one. In my opinion.
In Stavanger, because you go out to a fjord and it's quite a long ride to get out there, and it's quite an exciting, exhilarating ride. Yeah. The one in the fjord from Skjolden, as it's called, SKJOLDN, which you're not going to, is a little bit more of a more sedate ride, but the scenery is absolutely fantastic.
But it's good. It's definitely worth doing. That would be my top tip.
Oldham, just get on the little noddy train or get on the hop-on, hop-off bus and just explore the area. You can go up to the Brinsdale Glacier. You can go to the, I think it's the lift. Is it the Lofton lift? So there's lots that you can do on your own in Oldham.
She just making.
No, I think so.
I think making words up now.
So
if you go Fjorgen up to the Fjorgen lifts and the Kjurgen glacier,
beautiful. I hope you have fantastic weather.
But it is, if you get some decent weather, it's wonderful. And if you get some rubbish weather, it's still wonderful.
Yeah, Fraser and agree. Anderson's gorgeous, and there it is.
It is lovely.
Nixon, right then, as you have a few cruises under your belt, is there a cruise line that stands out above the rest? And if so, why? No.
That's like having 5 children and asking which is your favourite.
They all offer different things, which is why I say to people, just try different cruise lines, because you might think, oh, that's not for us. And you might go in there and think, oh my God, that was awesome.
It's easier to say. What I will say, and this isn't answering your question at all, but it's as good as you're going to get, Nick. MSC is my least favourite cruise line. So far. So you could put a line through that. Lots of people go on there and love it. I think it's rubbish. So you get what you pay for. It's £3.50 for a week, but then they charge you for every breath of oxygen you take. So you get what you pay for. That is definitely not one of them. So you can cross it on your list off the list of favourites.
So the rest
so just different things to offer. I mean,
and each ship within each fleet is slightly different.
Got different things to offer.
Yeah. Gary says, Davina and Gary, the stalkers. Hey guys, yeah, we met up on Aurora, which was good fun. Kevin B said he Google cleared it.
Hey.
Hopefully, Lou, we've answered that question for you about the service, because we compared it to Iona. And Yvonne said, I agree, the Crow's Nest and Andersons are great. They are. Alison saying as well, Aurora look lovely, very tempting, especially having solar balcony cabins. Yes, make sure, I don't know if Fraser's put it out yet because I haven't checked, but Fraser at Sea stayed in a balcony cabin and he'll be putting a video out all about it. So make sure you check that out. So let's see. We're on banter between each other.
What I want to know is,
Lynn saying, looking to book Aurora. Is it looking tired? Is it the oldest in the fleet?
It's just like I wasn't talking on. Wasn't it?
Sorry, mate. I'm just talking.
You say, oh, you talk over me, and then I was just talking away, and you just laboured on. When Fraser's not at sea,
what's his name?
Himself? Is he Fraser at land?
Oh, it is looking a little bit tired in places. Not internally, I don't think, but externally, it's looking. If you look at our some of our shorts that we've put on, if you put them on yet, or our reels on Instagram, on Facebook, you'll see a little bit rusty, but we'll be putting some more out of the external. So let's see, lots of people talking about Brits on the ships here as well. It was lovely to catch up with you guys too. So, do
you know I didn't do a quiz the whole time I was on?
No, I know we didn't.
Managed to fit one in.
Bob, did we notice if there was a decent selection of non-alcoholic beer and wine? There was some, if I remember rightly. When we do, we will update our because we've taken photos of all the menus. So when Paul gets round to doing that, we'll make sure we
There was on Cunard, but I couldn't even tell you at this moment in time because I haven't physically gone through the P&O menus. But there was on Cunard, but I don't know is the honest answer.
Jack is saying, do we book the P&O excursion to Bruges or make your own way? We actually didn't get off in the end because we've been to Bruges before and it was pouring with rain in the morning. It did brighten up later on. But most people who went into Bruges seemed to have booked the excursion, which isn't cheap. However, you can get there if you've got enough time and you plan to come back early. It's about €50 per way in a taxi. Because I knew some people were doing that. And then just make sure, obviously, you get a taxi back within decent time. And if that's 4 of you in a taxi, I think that's pretty good.
How much is that? And if there's 4 of them?
So it's €12.50 each.
Whoa, you must have worked that out before.
I know.
You must have wrote that down somewhere. No. Are you Rain Man?
Bristol Ship said the men's near champions was rank. Yeah, some of the toilets were a problem on Aurora, that's for sure. Karen saying they were on Iona last week. They met a toilet set of action was ridiculous. Really? Because that's a new ship. We expected that on Aurora, didn't we?
The scary thing is you say that's a new ship, but I bet you Iona's 5 years old now.
Yeah, I bet it is.
I bet it is.
Let's have a look. Claire's saying, hey, Paulie, how were the legs after the weekend?
Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm a natural athlete. I am, Claire. I'm actually crying as we speak, but I'm hiding it.
Do you want to explain to the lovely people what you've been up to?
Foolishly, well, not foolishly, because I thoroughly enjoyed it. Every year, we have a charity football match for a man who used to sponsor our football team, who sadly passed away about 15 years ago. What makes it more special is he went to school with my mum, and they were good old schoolmates. And so it was quite special, and he used to sponsor our team. When he passed away, we've had this charity game where it's all old duffers who used to play from the late 70s. I started, for Blakeney, yeah. It wasn't for Tottenham or anything like that. For my little village in the Forest of Dean. So I started playing in 1980 for my village. And I carried on playing until I was 43. So what's that? 16 years ago. So whatever that was. And then I just turn up at this charity game when I'm available, which sadly I haven't been for the last 3 or 4 years, but obviously managed to get there this year with my little boy. He's only 29. He played his first game there when he was 15. So, yes. But yeah, so obviously I've just done back-to-back cruises. I'm about 3.5 stone overweight.
You got off Aurora in Southampton and drove straight to the Forest of Dean to do that.
I've had no exercise. And then when I got there, it was like all the kit was for 7-year-olds. The shirts were too tight. The socks I couldn't even pull up to my knees. They were so tight. But that wasn't an isolated incident, because everybody on our team said the same. And to the point where the socks were so tight that I got cramp in both my calves after about 10 minutes.
It was a socks fault.
It was a socks fault. So we had rolling substitutions. So I went off, and then I came back on with about 5 minutes to go. We ended up drawing 3-3, and then we had a penalty shootout, which 3 of the oldest players from each team had to take the penalties. I was one of them. I scored my penalty, and the penalty shootout was also a draw. And then the referee wisely decided that they wasn't going to go to sudden death penalties because it looked like somebody might actually die because we were all so tired. So it was honours even. And I got to lift the trophy with my fellow captain, Andy James.
Yeah.
So all good, but my legs are hurting like a biatch.
Well, obviously Claire's no, because she's one of our members, so we share everything with with our members. But yeah, he's been walking around. To say he's slow and looking like he's 143 is a bit of an understatement. But there we are.
But roll on next year.
So Kelly's saying, I'd love to join one of your group cruises, 2026. Any plan that far ahead? You're so much fun to watch. Thank you. We have our members cruise book for 2026, and we're hoping to do a general group cruise in 2026, providing we obviously get on well with our one in 2025, which I'm sure we will, because we have such a lot of interest in it. So, yes. So watch that space.
So to sum up, we've got a group cruise in 2026, but it's for Patreons only. So you have to be a Patreon or a YouTube member, but you have to be a paying Patreon or a YouTube member, and you have to be a member for at least 3 months before the Patreon cruise.
Yeah.
That's the part. Now, there is a free thing, which Patreon do, which nobody knows why, but free membership does not get you into the Patreon cruise.
No.
The group cruise in 2025 you can go on, and if we do have a normal group cruise in 2026, sure as well as the Patreon cruise, then you are.
The reason we've done a members only one as well is just to keep it very small and personal. Keep the numbers down.
But you can become a Patreon for as little as £4 a month, so £1 a week. You couldn't even get a little tiny weeny cup of coffee for that.
I'm sure you could somewhere.
No, I bet you can't.
Anyway, Life of the Party. Sorry, Nicola, I can't be with you tonight, but we're somewhere in the Bay of Biscuits watching We Will Rock You On, Anthem of the Seas. That's a fab. Enjoy. Anthem of the Seas, a fantastic ship, and that's in a fantastic show. Karen's just saying Arcadia was originally destined to be a Cunard ship, but ended up with P&O. It was the Cunard It had the Cunard funnel. Oh, wow. Let's have a look. Marian's asking, would you go on a celebratory cruise ship? I presume you mean celebrity. Yes, we have. We've done Celebrity Beyond, which is the Ed class ship, and we're back on Celebrity Eclipse in September because we're going on Gary Bembridge's.
But we've been on Celebrity Eclipse already as well.
Group cruise. Yes, many years ago we did a 4-night cruise on Eclipse.
So we've done 2, and we got 1 coming up.
And David saying as well, yes, it's true. Aurora was meant to be a Cunard ship. If it had been Queen Anne, it would have been the 250 ship for Cunard. Wow. And man saying you have lovely silky hair. You must use Timotei.
That's that Irish shampoo, isn't it? Tim O'Tay.
Exactly. Cassie, have you been to Budapest? We have, and it's a fantastic city. We did a river cruise on with TUI from Budapest through to, where did we get off? Passau. And it was a fantastic city. I'd love to go there just for the weekend, actually, wouldn't you?
I'd leave it all to go there.
Anyway, Mike's saying he's off for...
Any clue what I'm on about?
You'd leave it all. It's what's his name? Song, isn't it? Budapest. Tom Petty. No.
Tom Petty. That's no. Move on.
Who is it?
George Ezra.
George Ezra. That's it. So Mike's going on Morella Voyager in 4 weeks. So have fun. Everyone's talking about Florence and Rome, saying it's beautiful. So, any plans to go on Ambassador? We really want to try it because we've heard very mixed reviews, but a lot of good, with the entertainment and things that we enjoy. It's just finding the right itinerary and the right amount of time, because a lot of them are either too short, too long, and we ideally want to go from Bristol. We don't want to go from Tilbury, because for us, that's just a pain to get to.
But other than that, we're all over it.
So Lynn's asking, have you been to Venice? We're there next week and think of spend some time on Lido. Have you been? We've been to Venice many years ago. What year was that we went to Venice?
What's Lido?
I think it's a little island around Venice.
Oh.
That's what I'm presuming you're asking. It's a tiny little island, like the place where they do all the glass flowing and stuff.
We've been to Venice twice. The second time it rained so much we didn't even get off the ship. But the first time we got off and we had a good old mooch round and we got lost, but we had a fabulous time, and it's definitely worth a look. But obviously, lots of tips, like don't eat in Watchcourt Square.
St. Mark's Square. Don't buy drinks or food anywhere near that.
Anywhere
square.
Near. If there's
go further back.
If there's music playing, don't buy anything because you have to pay the musicians. We met a lovely couple back on the ship after we went there. They had a cup of coffee, and it came with a little weenie biscuit, and it cost £28.
Yeah, just
£28 each. So it's £56 for 2 coffees and 2 little biscuits because there was a string quartet playing. I'd have wanted Beethoven himself playing for £28 for a coffee. So it's just little stuff like that. The further you go away, in the further you get into the middle, away from the outskirts, away from St. Mark's Square, the cheaper things will get.
Exactly.
So take in all those
Sean's
sites.
Saying, not even right, Carole. Love you trying Scottish words. David's saying there's a Kincardine in Scotland. It's between Glasgow and Edinburgh.
Yes, but it's Kilcoddy that you're on about.
And Michael's saying when Arcadia was first ordered, it was going to be a HA ship. So Holland America, when they started building it, it was going to be Queen Victoria. Carnival Corporation changed their mind while it was being built.
There we go.
Wow. So Maria's asking, do you still recommend the Holland America Alaska cruise? I see your video on it. Yes, we do.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
We went on Collingsdown, beautiful ship. Yeah. Holland America, great cruise line. The only thing that they don't do well is if you want to party till 3 a.m, you can't because everywhere's closed. But if you want good service, lovely ships, really good live entertainment, then Holland America are a great line. Mm-hmm. So right then, Reese is here. He said, try the hand signs, but not so close to the camera. They have to be clearly seen. Keep trying and you'll get there. So like that then. Or waving. No. Not working, Reese.
You fibber, Reese. You're just trying to make us look like idiots, aren't you?
Andy and Christine, the Cotswold Cup, said they've never had a bad breakfast on P&O. No, they do breakfast really well. They have black pudding as well. I love black pudding. You don't mind it, do you? But I really like black pudding.
Black pudding, but I do love fried bread.
So So Diane Lovesey, hello from the Forest of Dean. Hello there. We booked the Queen Mary for next year. We managed to get the bigger inside cabinet off the back of your review. Thank you for that. It was so informative. You're welcome.
So the burning question is, whereabouts in the Forest of Dean?
Yes.
Yes, where are you?
Where are you? Yeah. We've got lots of, for those that are new to our channel, we've got lots and lots of cabin reviews. We've got a whole playlist full of them. And we tend to look at, obviously, the deck plans and try to get some of the cabins that have got that little bit more space or a little bit bigger balcony, etc. So I'm glad that that works out well for you. So thank you very much. Maria's just saying, what are the benefits of joining your Patreon community? You can talk to us every day. We chat on an app called Discord, which we chat all the time, and so you can chat with all the other Patreon members, and that's lovely because we've just got such a fantastic community there now. You get early access to our videos. You get included in giveaways. We only do giveaways for patrons and YouTube members.
Yeah, we don't do giveaways to drum up business.
No,
like a lot of vloggers out there.
No,
so we give stuff away to people
that support us,
who already support us.
Yeah,
we're not trying to flog it to death and get new people. Oh, please do this and I'll give you something. No, we don't do that. We just give it you because you look after us anyway. Yes.
So you also get we get sent postcards from our cruises, depending on the different tiers. We do monthly live streams, but only for our members. We do monthly Zoom calls for our top tier patrons, and gosh, what else
we do? Patreon meetups.
Yes, we do meetups. So wherever we are in the country, we always arrange to meet up with our members.
Out in the country.
Yes. Fraser's saying, he said, if you tied me to a chair, it would be with a wet lettuce. And Brits on the ship say agreed. They couldn't recall any staff names on Aurora. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because it was lovely service and happy service, but it was just nothing. Gavin's asking about access for wheelchairs. There were people on wheelchairs which seemed to be getting around fine, and it seemed there wasn't any. I didn't notice any difficulties or steps.
And what I did also notice, which I didn't see anywhere on Queen Anne, was a chair lift
in the pool,
at the swimming pools, and at Hot Tub.
Yes,
and I never saw that anywhere.
So the
on
chair
Queen
lifts,
Anne. So I would say they, on the surface of stuff, not delving in too deep, but certainly on the surface of things, that ship, Otis in the P&O fleet, seemed to cater better for wheelchair users.
Well, from a pool point of view,
from a pool, but we didn't see anything.
Yeah,
where we thought, oh, that wouldn't be.
The lifts were really big as well, weren't they? The lifts were really big, so getting the access in and out, if you're in a wheelchair, it wasn't really difficult. So yeah. Ted saying 5 pieces of ice is pretty specific at my favourite barbecue restaurant. If I ask for a bean, meaning a side of beans, the funny server brings me 1 single bean. Love it. Right, let's have a look. See what other question we've got. A few people asking about access. Have you thought about doing the paddle steamer on the Mississippi? We'd love to do that one day, but it's not high on the. We heard one company had gone, but I think there's other companies that have bought that
American
now.
Queen or something.
Yeah, but I think it's
either they'd gone down the Paneroon.
Dawn saying, can tell Paul's approaching 60. Good old Windy Miller. Because what year was that? Well, Camberwick Green.
I think Camberwick Green and Trumpton was late 60s, early 70s, because the one, I can't remember which one it was. I'll tell you, we've gone into like what's the crazy world of, that pudding and all that, what's it called, Angel Delight. We've gone down the wormhole now of Camberwick Green or Trumpton. I can't remember which one it was, but at the start of one of Camberwick Green or Trumpton, there used to be I know who Windy Miller is. God almighty. There used to be this music box. And this music box would start spinning round, and then the top would open, and then a character from, I can't remember, I'm sure it's Trumpton or Camberwick Green, one of those two, would come up out of the music box, and then that episode would center around that character. So so straight away, you were straight into it. You're like, oh, is it going to be today? Who's it going to be today? And if it was somebody you didn't like,
yes, that's true.
Stupid bloke who drives the train.
Emma said, which one of you gave me this cold I have? Just kidding. Don't think it was you, not us. We're all fine. And Lou said, never watched Downton Abbey. No, we haven't.
No, never.
Oh,
Well, I haven't. You know, hot off the press, I'm on to the 3rd series of Peaky Blinders. I mean, I'm only about 10 years behind the curve, but I'm getting through it, and I'm thoroughly. It's a tad on the violent side and a tad sweary Mary.
Yes,
but
and he tends to put it on when we go to bed. And I'm like, mate, is this really appropriate?
And they talk a bit funny, all right, by order of the Peaky Blinders.
Sean saying for Maria Mott, the one thing that stands out for me is the patrons Discord chat. We've got a great community there, which we've learned a lot as well, because people share when they're on a cruise, they share, and it's just fabulous. And we've got lots of information about ports and all sorts.
We have, and I think what's the most wonderful is on occasions there's a few people in our Discord that might not be going through the best of time with health and the likes, and the amount of support
and love in there
and love they get from the other members of our community. It's not even us, it's from the members of our community. It is us as well, but what I'm trying to say is it's more them than us. It's just a lovely, lovely place to be.
It is. Keith just saying, interesting, looking to book a short cruise in December between Aurora and Queen Mary 2, both similarly priced and both go to Rotterdam. Which one would you choose? Oh, that's a toughie.
That's the worst. That's the worst combo you could have put together. Because any of them we'd be happy with. Because
we've been on Queen Mary 2 about 4 times now, I would pick Aurora because we've only been on Aurora once. But that doesn't mean either or. I would say to you, Keith, have you been on either of them? Or, all
I will say is you'll have a smoother crossing on the Queen Mary 2 because she's
in December
because she's built for that.
Yeah.
So if you want a smooth crossing,
because she's a sturdy bird, isn't she? Yeah. Where Aurora's smaller. Chad's asking our thoughts on Iona. We've had 2 cruises on her and we liked the ship. My partner booked a corner half suite next year going to Norway. I think she's a great ship, Iona. Yeah. She's got a lot to offer, and she's getting a little bit of a battering at the moment, isn't she? But I think she's got some great outside space. We've always had decent food when we've been on board. We've just found the service bland, and we've also had good entertainment, to be fair, on Iona, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely.
So Jan's asking, any problems with the sickness bug and COVID on Aurora? We got off when you got on, and there had been a lot. Do you know they said that there'd been? We didn't see any evidence of it whatsoever. No. We've not been ill. And nobody that we've known, apart from Emma saying she's got a cold, have been told that anyone's been ill. But everything was spotlessly clean.
What was nice is they wouldn't let you in the restaurant unless you wash your hands or sanitize your hands, which is good. And there were still people getting the hump about it. Can you wash your hands, please? He's like, well, what sort of person are you? You don't want to wash your hands before you go in and eat. But even when you went in to eat, you still weren't allowed to serve yourself. So they were like, as well, it's called bout and braces to double make sure. But even when we were on there, we had a message off somebody. Oh, apparently there's 150 people in quarantine. There was no people in quarantine.
We don't know that.
Certainly we heard about.
Well, we don't know. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, do you? No. So we don't know that.
But I think more hand washing and more of them serving you the food is the way forward. But unfortunately, that means more people in the workforce. And of course, cruise lines don't like that. They like less people in the workforce because it's cheaper.
Gavin's just saying, hello. Question, how pleased am I to say thank you for your help? I'm now booked on a group cruise. Thank you for your advice. You're welcome, Gavin. No problem at all. Bon voyage. Saying good to see you, Paul, Carole and Paul. Can't stay working today. But love you guys. Well, thank you very much. Striker Maguire here. I wish you could get Morella's service with P&O Big Ships. Yes, because Morella's service is just happy and personable. And P&O just don't do that. And I don't know what it is. It's bizarre. It is bizarre. Penelope's made it for the first live for ages. Loving all the vlogs. Thank you, sir. And Cruise Monkeys. Oh, we had such a fun time. We're still recovering from the Aurora cruise. Yeah, it was fun, wasn't it? Jackie's saying, question, we thought the buffet on P&O was rubbish. What did you think? We thought that it was, what we had was good. It was hot and nice, but it wasn't a huge choice, was there?
I still thought there was as much, if not more, choice on. I mean, we talking P&O, or are we talking Aurora?
Well, I presume P&O Aurora.
Because we haven't done anything P&O apart from Aurora for quite a while. I thought the buffet on Aurora, they always had a good choice. They had more choice than Queen Anne. And I thought the food was good, to be fair. So there you go. I don't know.
Emma saying, when I talk wine, it's like you're speaking Swedish. Oh, I need to go into Pepsi Max language. Warren saying, go to Pulpit Rock in Stavanger. Yeah, that's a good advice. Let's have a look, because I'm aware that we're getting towards the hour. Let's see what we think. Lionel Field's asking, what do you think of last-minute cruises? Are they worth booking for? Well, if you're prepared to wait and you're prepared to gamble, because you might not get the cruise that you want, you might not get the cabin that you want, but you might get something that you didn't even know you needed. And I think that's the thing with last minute, isn't it? If you just wait and see what's available, you say, right, I'm going to wait till 2 weeks before and see what's there, then you could go on a cruise that you never thought about doing.
If you're in a situation where you're working and you only get X amount of holidays a year and you book those holidays and then you leave it to the last minute and you can't get what you want, then unfortunately, no, that's a real bummer. But if you're not in that situation where you're committed to a certain time, if you're retired or you work for yourself or you can get flexible, whatever, it's definitely worth taking a gamble because you can get some bargains. But it's a sort of how long's a piece of string type thing, because you're never going to, you don't know until it happens. But just before COVID, I always go back to this because it makes me very sad, is when Carole was working, there was a Silver Seas cruise came up, which should have been £7,000 a person, and it was going like tomorrow, and it was £1,000 a person. Now, if you're in a position where you can just drop everything and head to the airport or to the port or wherever it's going from, happy days. We weren't in that position
at that time,
and we've never ever seen that bargain come up again.
No.
So,
Travel with Lizzie Lou says, in my opinion, rib boats in Stavanger is the best. I agree. Sandra's just saying, I prefer Carole's first time on our Sky Princess cruise, Jordan. Yes, we kept saying it, didn't we? Until you taught us the proper way to do it. Supersonic 13 saying, we are off on Iona this week to Norway. We're also planning Eastern Canada. Who would you recommend, and would you sail from Boston or New York? Well, we've sailed from New York on a Queen Mary 2 transatlantic, and sailing out of New York is just very special. And we're sailing out of Boston in September on Celebrity Eclipse, and doing the Eastern Canada. So until we've done that, we can't really answer that question. But ask us again in end of September, and we'll let you know.
But I have to say, New York is, I'm going to go. I've said it before, and I'm going to stick to my guns. I thought that Sydney, sailing into Sydney and sailing out of Sydney,
yeah,
I thought that's going to be an absolute banger. Nothing's going to beat it. And it was an absolute banger, sailing in and sailing out. But I have to say, when we sailed out of New York, that properly blew my mind of just not only all the iconic buildings, but all the stuff going on. Then you think it's all over, and then you go past the Statue of Liberty, and then the Staten Island ferry goes across the the back of the ship, and it's just it's almost an assault to your senses, but in a really good way.
Louise is asking, will my 18-year-old daughter enjoy Aurora, as I've heard it caters for the over 60s? A short
cruise. How very dare you?
Well,
I'm only 59 and Carole's 57.
Our 3-day cruise did attract a younger clientele. I believe if it was a longer cruise, more than sort of 7 days on Aurora, you'll definitely get an older clientele. But I tell you what, that masquerade bar was rocking every night. Yeah. So I would pick, if you were going to go on Aurora, I would pick a shorter cruise because I think it would attract the younger crowd. Russell's asking, is there a glass house on Aurora? Yes, there is. And it looked like it had a very similar menu to the one that was on.
So mostly included in your fare with a few extra things you can cost option.
Yes, and Maria Moxon, what travel agent do you recommend? We recommend Dan from Go Cruise and Travel. I put his details in the description below. So when you finish this, if you just go to the description, but if you can't find it, just message us or email us, and we'll send you his details. Or you can go to our booking form on our website, and you'll see his details there. People saying, "Oh, duffers, not heard that word for years," and she's saying you blame the socks.
It was the socks.
Hope you had an ambulance on standby. Oh dear. Jenny saying, Aurora's so small you can just go back to your own cabin to use your own toilet. And that is, what, do you want to high five?
I have to put my hand up now to have the permission to speak. The first time we were in the cabin, I pressed a flush and nothing happened. and there's a sign on the wall, so don't press flush more than once. Contact reception. So I contacted reception. Oh, leave it with us, sir. We'll speak to the plumber. And then about 15 minutes later, nobody came to our room. And then our flush in our bathroom went about 6 times randomly without us even touching it. So not even going back to your cabins, really, the top tip.
Taste that I bought a gun off an Irish shop called Ricochet.
Ricochet.
Dear.
Yeah.
Lorna said, question about ribeye. Are they difficult to get in or is it uncomfortable when it's speed? They're not the easiest to get in, so you have to be fairly mobile. And depends on the rib boat, because some you're sat like a horse. Remember where we were?
It is. It's like it's not a seat as in a seat with a back on it.
Yeah.
You are like on it's like a horse's saddle you're sat on. It is. And then you use your legs as like shock absorbers as you're sort of bouncing up and down.
But some rib boats are like we did the one in Australia, was a little bit which had normal seats. So it really does depend. Joe saying 3-night ambassador cruise, Bristol to Liverpool, add return coach to Bristol with a day in Dublin is £190 each. Saturday, June the 8th. That's our wedding anniversary. We are considering it maybe a good way for you guys to try them too. What are we doing for our wedding anniversary? I can't remember. We've got any plans for
sure
it?
we're away for that, aren't we?
Are we away?
I think so.
We'll have a look at that, Joe. That's so thank you very much. So let's have a look if we've got any other questions here. Emma said P&O's ice buns for breakfast are the best.
Do you know, the last morning we were on there, 2 girls came back with an ice bun and something else. And I thought, well, I haven't seen ice buns the whole time we've been on there. And now you said they're the best. That makes me even sadder.
And Joe says, scrap that. Ambassador, I just told you, check to get it to jump to 339. Damn it. Dan's, I didn't think we'd see you, Dan, because someone like sitting at the O2 listening to the lottery winners, Nickelback Support Act. So, so this is our travel agent, Dan. I knew you were off to the O2 tonight, so wasn't expecting you to pop in. So let's just have a quick look to see if Tina, Hugh Pugh, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert, Tibble and Grub. Oh, lots of people saying there. I think it's Camberwick Green was the musical box.
I don't want to disagree with Tina. I thought it was Pew, Barney McGrew.
Oh, Pew, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert, Tibble and Grub.
See, look, Corinne agrees.
Not Few. No. Maybe it's just a spelling mistake.
Tina said Hugh Pew, not Few. It's not Few, no. It's Pew, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert, Dibble and Grub.
So I think Corinne's one.
And that was at Pippin Fort, wasn't it? Or was that the fire station? The fire station, wasn't it? That was the fire station. So they used to come down.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Lucy, leave
I would say I think somebody's won. I didn't even realise that was a competition.
Oh, and Lynn saying also about a Discord, totally agree with Discord, so well and friendly, well worth becoming a patron. Well, thanks. So I think we're going to leave it there because we've been yattering around. There's so many. I just can't keep up with all the comments and the questions. So
she's talked herself into a stupor.
No,
it doesn't surprise me.
So we just want to say thank you so much for everyone joining us on this Tuesday of all evenings. We're back to Thursday next week because Paul is away racing next weekend, but not going until the Friday. So we will see. I
am going actually on the Thursday, but I'm coming back because this is how much I love doing the lives. I'm coming back to do the live, then going back to the racing on the Friday. Look at the commitment, eh? What's Carole going to do? She's just going to sit here drinking Villa Maria.
I'm going to be here working, editing videos and making sure everyone gets a lovely video on a Friday.
That's what she says, but nobody knows that, do they?
Oh, dear. Anyway, so many questions that we can't keep up with them. So apologies if we haven't answered yours, but come back next week and ask them again and we'll answer them then.
We might not answer them again then.
No. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, and we will catch you guys next Thursday. And make sure you check out our Cunard videos. Episode 1's out now, and episode 2's out on Friday.
You have to tell me when I can start waving because I can't wave for long.
Okay, start waving.